Oh, there's a little bit of music then. Did you hear that? Where'd that music come from? Morning, Saturday the 14th. Is it the 14th? Yes, Saturday the 14th of June 2014. Good morning. I've had a nice couple of days, actually. I went up to my sister's to visit them all. There was a sad part to it. It was my sister's mother-in-law's funeral, so they all went to that. And of course, that's the three children's nan, my nephews Jimmy and Gary, and my niece Tracy. So we all went to the funeral, which was in a crematorium. So a little service in a crematorium, and Doreen, that was her name, was cremated. Very nice service. Beautiful poem someone chose as well. Actually, I should have got a copy of it actually and read it to you today. That would have brought your happiness down for today. Really beautiful poem that I thought had been written by a lady called Bernie. Now Bernie is, oh God, it's my sister. Oh, I don't know. Do you know what I mean? That's where we start going to first aunts and second cousins and all that old people. But she is somewhere, related in there somewhere. And they read out the poem from Bernie. It was really, really nice. Ever so nice. And I went up to her afterwards. And I said, I just wanted to say how nice that poem was that you wrote. I said, you wrote that yourself? I said, it was really beautiful. She said, well, actually, Chris, no, I found it on the internet and downloaded it. So there you are, boys and girls. If you're ever stuck perhaps for something to say at a funeral, or indeed best man, maybe you've been chosen for best. Actually, let's have a quick look. Best man's speeches. I bet there is. Speeches. Best man's speeches. Here, look at this. Hang on. Best man's speech database. I knew there'd be something like this. Take the strain out of your best man's speech. Search or browse the hilarious and sincere material at thebestmanspeech.com to create a tribute the groom deserves. Now let's have a look. Let's have a look. Best man's humorous wedding observations. Now, what shall we have? Entertaining version of bride and groom's note. Right, how they met. Let's just kick on higher. The storybook courtship began in a very, very romantic location, the Hippodrome nightclub in Exeter. Place is renowned for being a hangout of drunk wide boys and white stiletto girls, so it was pure coincidence that they met on this fateful night. So you haven't got to do that any thinking anymore or anything, have you? You just type something into the internet and these speeches and things come up. Anyway, whatever. That downloaded poem that Bernie had read by the vicar at the crematorium was all very nice. I gotta say, being a Catholic, I've been to Catholic funerals, and they're quite big occasions, the organ, the choir, the whole lot. The crematorium thing just doesn't do it for me at all. They almost seem a bit impersonal. Now, don't get me wrong, there were two lovely vicars. They were both ladies. I assume they're vicars, are they? I assume they're vicars, who were doing the service with, great, what's the word? Great thought and sincerity. It was all done very well, and nothing to pick or say, oh, that was terrible. Nothing like that. But it just doesn't do it for me. A sort of 20-minute service in a crematorium. When I go, which is not for a few thousand years, I have actually been booked to do this show here on YouTube for the next 2,500 millennia. So I'm not going anywhere quickly, right? But when I do, I want the whole thing. I think we're going to have to get Westminster Cathedral. We're not going to a church. Oh, no. Oh, what's my local cathedral? Portsmouth. I'm going to have to go to Portsmouth Cathedral and have the choir and the big organ playing. And we're going to have to do the whole thing. Not just this little thing in a crematorium. I do find them a bit impersonal. Got to have a proper mass, I think. 3 hours long. That'd be nice, wouldn't it? Do make sure, if you are, and you will be invited to my funeral whenever that is, okay? Do make sure you bring a cushion to sit on, because those hard chairs in churches, they get a bit uncomfortable after the sort of, the second or third hour. And you will be sitting there for that long. Sitting and standing and kneeling down like we do in Catholic churches. You know, we're sitting and then something else happens and you're standing up, then you're kneeling down, and then you stand up and then you go for a little wander and he gives you something to eat, a little glass of wine. Of course, you know, if you've not been baptised into the Catholic community, then you won't be able to have the bread and lime wine, I'm afraid, but I will be allowing sandwiches. You can bring your own sandwiches if you're not a Catholic. Okay? You will be able to bring your own sandwich. Mary in Camden, I don't know if she's with us this morning, but Mary in Camden, she'll be okay, you know, she'll be able to queue up for with the rest of the Catholics for their bread and wine. Please come, you know. But if you're not a Catholic, I'm afraid I can't give you the bread and wine. You may bring flasks. I don't want any fizzy drinks, you know, because one of the younger people that will be there will probably start shaking up a can and psst, and it'll go everywhere. We're not having any of that. You know, just flasks of tea, bottles of water, and preferably glass bottles, because I don't like all this plastic everywhere. I'm not having plastic at my funeral. Glass only. We don't want any fakeness. We certainly don't want any of the cast of TOWIE turning up, because they're all fake, aren't they? And I gather a new series is starting very soon. I don't have the exact dates for you. The reason I haven't got the exact dates is because I shan't be watching. I do sort of click on there now and again to see the awfulness of that programme. Fake, 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 fake. And this week, via the internet, I was made aware, I can't remember who by now, I was made aware of a certain item of clothing that the awful Bobby, the gay one, and the awful ex-member of TOWIE, who I gather is going back in it, Harry, are going to be wearing. Now, someone told me that Bobby and Harry are going out together now. Is that right? I mean, what are those two going to do together in the bedroom? Lay back to back and hope for a miracle? You know, what are they going to do? Anyway, so this new item of clothing they're wearing, do you know, I can't remember what it's called now. It's like a thong. Now, ladies, all over the world, you'll know what I mean by saying we know what type of men generally wear thongs. They're usually around my age, middle-aged, overweight, bald heads. And they look gross. They look gross. You never see a beautiful man in a thong, do you? You know, someone like Cristiano Ronaldo or any of the football players that I happened to watch running around a pitch the other night. While I was at my sister's, visiting my sister, my nephew insisted on watching the football. Jimmy, he's just football crazy. Anyway, now and again I glanced up from my mobile phone while I was texting people all night long because I couldn't watch this programme. Blooming football. But now and again, you know, you see quite a few fit bodies running past, and why don't we ever see those ones in thongs? Only the fat over ones. And it's the same with the Speedos. There's only one person that looks good in Speedos. Tom Daley. Isn't that right, ladies? Tom Daley. He's the only one. All the others, fat, gross, horrible. Go away. I wouldn't try and fit in a pair of Speedos and go out. I mean, maybe in private in my own house now and again. But certainly not when I'm going out. How awful are they? If you've got a nice body, wear them, please. But the people with the nice bodies, they don't wear them. They wear these baggy shorts. Terry H is with us this morning. I'm hoping that if I ever bump into him in a swimming pool somewhere, he wears baggy shorts. You could wear a pair of Speedos, Terry, if you wanted to, but as an armband, darling, on you. That wouldn't be too bad, would it? Anyway, so this Harry and Bobby are wearing what looks like a thong, But it's even worse. Now, you're probably asking yourself, how can something be even worse than a thong? Okay? Right, so, close your eyes. Thong on man's body is a piece of string round the top and a piece of string going round your bum and a little pouch on the front, okay? That is a thong. This thing they were wearing was similar to a thong. There was a piece of... but there was only a piece of string round the waist, a little pouch on the front, and a piece of string round one side. So one cheek was hanging out with nothing on it. Now, I thought very, very carefully about showing you a picture of this today, but I decided against it, because it is the most hideous thing you've ever seen in your entire life. They haven't even got nice bums. Awful. Vacuous, horrible people who are just looking to be the centre of attention. Now, I am the last person who would want to be the centre of attention. I mean, I could come in here now on the show today wearing a thong. Probably viewing figures. We'd probably crash YouTube if we had to do it. I did get a little message from someone this morning. Are you a celebrity on the telly? No, I'm a YouTube host. There's a big difference. There's a big difference. Whereas you might have the Parkinson show with 40 or 50 people working on it, in this show, there's only me and a couple of computers and a few nice lights. That's it. That's all I have. But you've never seen anything like it. It is awful. One horrible bum cheek hanging out. The pair of them have got these on while they're standing next to each other. Harry and Bobby. This is the impression of the gay world that the programme's makers want you to have. Let me tell you, there aren't many of us like that. I could probably, as you well know, wear a thong and I would look really good in it. Probably, you know, I would stand next to Cristiano Ronaldo and he would be ignored, put it that way. People would come to me to touch me. But on television, why? Why have they got these awful half thong things on? It just looks dreadful. I don't know if you've seen the picture. Maybe you've got a comment on it. Then please let me know what you think. My email address this morning is chris, and at all times is chris@unitedkingdomtalk.co.uk. Now, if you're with us live and it's just coming up to 12:15 on Saturday, the 14th of June 2014, then you can indeed join in live. You can call in. It'd be lovely to speak to you on the phone. Or Skype. My Skype username is, all one word, Chris Reardon. ChrisReardon, okay? Skype username, Chris Reardon. Call in on that number, ChrisReardon. And there's a phone-in number as well, 020 8133 6358. That's a local London number. You will not be charged any more than a local call for that, okay? Depending on where you are. Of course, if you're dialing international, you can dial international as well. Dial-in number from abroad is 44 20 8133 6358. 44 20 8133 6358. They're your methods of live communication this morning. Call in when you're ready. Terry H says, Ronaldo and Tom, my two favourite celebrities. Mine as well. Cristiano Ronaldo. Oh, God. It's been a few years I've fancied him now. He's still not looking bad, is he? David Beckham, by the way, never ever took to him. I don't know why. And he's got this new programme on the telly. Have you seen it? David Beckham in the Jungle or something like that. Oh, it's awful. Awful. It is so over-rehearsed. It's not natural at all. You will know, if you've ever met me, that this is how I am. You know, there's nothing going on here. Yeah, I'm kind of watching this David Beckham in the Jungle programme. Don't know what it's called. Will I watch it again? I'll probably dip in and out of it. But when I get a programme that I don't really like, I'll still record it and I'll flick through and stop now and again. Flick through a bit more and stop now and again. I've never ever fancied David Beckham. Isn't that funny? And yet people throw themselves at him. Throw themselves, dear. And there was Victoria Beckham. She was in it as well, looking as miserable of sin, as thin as a rake. And she was posing all the time, like she's having a conversation. I think they were in the bedroom packing cases. And all the time they were packing the cases. You know, it's supposed to look like a normal programme. All the time they were packing the cases, she was posing and kind of standing like this, pushing her arse out like this in this pair of really tight black trousers. What the hell do you look like, darling? It's not sexy. It's horrible. When I talk to my straight boys, okay, and I mention people like, they don't want a stick insect like that. They want someone with a bit of meat on them, which is why I'm going to go out in a minute and buy 3 bags of chips. Maybe someone will fancy me then. That's what's happened. I've become too thin. No one fancies me when I'm fat. Now I'm thin. They still don't fancy me, so I must have overdone it. I must eat more. Talking of eating more, I'm afraid to tell you I've put on a pound while I was at my sister's. But that is acceptable. And quite honestly, I'm surprised it was only a pound. Oh, crisps, apple pies, potatoes, bread. 2 days worth. But that's okay. We don't mind putting on a pound while we're at my sister's. What do you think of these TOWIE? It's all that's wrong with television today is TOWIE. That wasn't the first programme to completely ruin British television. I think it was probably Big Brother. Now, a friend of mine at the moment, Gabbi Drag Queen, is actually some sort of host on Big Brother. Terry, are you watching Big Brother? I don't know if you're not. Are you watching the Big Brother? Is Gabbi Drag Queen on this? Because she's a very good friend of mine. That's who I was working with in the cherry tree. Can I just lean over and just click something on here? Just a minute. Got to quit. There we are. I've just quit something, otherwise the recording won't happen. Gabbi Drag Queen. Now, I'm not sure exactly what she does on Big Brother 6, is it? Or Big Brother 5, whatever it's called. Not quite sure what she does. But that was, for me, I think, really the start of dreadful television. And from there, we've had all these other things. I'm a celebrity this, I'm a celebrity that. Big Brother Extra, you know, TOWIE, Made in Chelsea, all absolute load of rubbish. And now this Beckham thing. Terry H says, no, same here, I'm not a fan of Beckham. I didn't even watch the programme. Oh, just watch it once. It's so over-rehearsed. It really is. They must have done about 10 takes of everything, but it doesn't look natural. It doesn't look natural at all. Her posing in the bedroom with sticking her arse out made me feel physically sick. These are not natural people. They shouldn't be on the bloody telly. We should have people like Barry Manilow on the telly, who incidentally is 71 now or next week, one of the two. 71, and he still goes and does all these concerts. He's on the stage for nearly 2 hours, you know. He don't have a break in the middle. There's no rest. He carries on, even with false hips and things. That's what we want. We should have a Barry Manilow programme on the telly. He'd be good at that. He's very natural. You come on the stage, you don't feel like he's forcing anything. It's just him. Like me now. I'm not forcing anything. It's just me chatting away. Good morning to Daniel in Camberley, who says, you're very smart today. Thank you. This is one of the new shirts I bought last week at the Ralph Lauren outlet in Bicester, Oxford. I'm sure you saw the video this week. Are you watching my little videos every day? A brand new video? Just go to unitedkingdomtalktv.co.uk and you'll see them all there, okay? Daniel says, does Ronnie wear a thong? Oh, God, don't say that, because he'll buy one. Oh, I can't think that would even... I mean, he could be... Yeah, he could stand with Bobby and Harry Durbridge. That's what he's a... Harry Durbridge. He's one of those, and he only wears Essex because he's a bit... isn't he? Camp little things running around with no personality. Why is he back on the telly anyway? Anyway, it's not on yet. It's not started again yet. Can you wear a thong for next week's show? Oh, I don't know. I mean, it's not really me, you know, Daniel. It's all right for those camp little things. But for me, you know, a little bit butch, a little bit builder type, you know, not for me, really. You know, I'm often saying if I'm going into a gay club somewhere, people, you know it's a gay club, don't you? And I say, yes, mate. I'm surprised I get into some of them sometimes. What, me being the hard man that I am. But I'm so hard that I'm looking at my hair at the moment and I'm thinking that's far too long now. You know, my hair must be at least 3 millimetres long now, so it needs another cut. I'm going to do that this afternoon. Of course, worst time of the week to go, isn't it? Saturday afternoon to have your hair cut. Worst time. I'll probably be sitting there at half hour with other real men, you know, burping and farting as we're sitting there waiting for our hair to be cut. That's me, a real man, Daniel. You look good in the tablecloth shirt. Tablecloth? I'm very disappointed you say that. It's a nice colour, isn't it? Green and mauve. I think mauve has become my new favourite colour. It was once blue. Okay, then it was green. Now it's kind of mauve. As you can see from the backdrop behind me. The very, very expensive backdrop behind me. Eh? You should try a nice Italian sausage to put on weight. No, we don't eat dead animals. No, thank you. We don't eat dead animals, Daniel. All these cancers and all that, it's all coming from processed meat. You carry on eating your bacon. You won't be here next week, darling. Will ya? Eh? Nothing away on another dead animal. How awful. Terry H says, yes, I'm watching Big Brother. Not heard of her. She may be on the extra shows. And it's Big Brother 15. Don't tell me that programme's been on for 15 bloody years. Has it really? How awful. God. Try and watch the extra thing and you can report back to me then, please. Thank you very much. Good morning to Matthew, who's with us this morning. Matthew is in the awful place of Croydon. Good morning, Matthew. Oh, what's gone on there? Yes, good morning to you, Matthew. We've got a couple of emails to do as well this morning. Let's have a look. Oh, what's this? What's the denial of service track? Oh, it's not directed to me. Okay. So, emails. A couple of emails come in. Marge sent a very short email in yesterday because it was Friday the 13th. Very, very scary. Friday the 13th. And she says, it's Friday the 13th. Most think of it as an unlucky day. But it's been rather lucky for me in this past day. You have a beautiful family. Yes, she was watching the video that I stuck up yesterday on Friday the 13th. Once again, you find those at unitedkingdomtalktv.co.uk. And you look for the video entitled Friday the 13th of June 2014. You'll see some of my family there. And we went to the cake shop and bought lots of cakes. Thank you. Yes, very tasty indeed. I was actually out with them yesterday as well, Marge. We went out with Evie and Harry. Evie's the little girl. She's 2. I think she's 2 now. And she walks okay. And she looks so pretty. So pretty. And she's got this little pink hat on. Proper little girl. Do you know what I mean? And there's Harry. He was in the pram, asleep. And it was a very hot day. The only thing is, the heat was hurting the bald spot on my head. It was quite warm. Anyone else got that problem? So fortunately, because Harry was asleep and the cot was over him, I was able to wear Harry's hat. And Jimmy came as well. Jimmy doesn't like walking, my nephew. Like, we walked 5 minutes down the road. He said, is that it? Are we going back now? And the other day, we walked to my other nephew's, Gary's house, from my sister's house, which is about It's about a half-hour walk for 20 minutes. No, it's not 20 minutes. About a half-hour walk. And he's like, we started off on our journey. He said, do you know it's 2 miles to Gary's house? I'm like, yeah. He said, well, are we going to walk all that way? I said, well, it's not like, you're not going to drive half the way and then walk. No, we're going to walk all the way. He doesn't like walking. And yet he's quite happy to run around a pitch playing football. Work that one out. He hates walking. So I think it was Thursday night. Yeah, Thursday night, we decided to walk. I decided to walk from my sister's to my nephew's house. Oh, he did nothing but moan. I said, do you want me to give you shoulders? You know, that's where you sit someone on your shoulders. He said, yeah. I said, don't think so. Not at 17 years old. Probably cripple my poor old back. So that was quite nice. The only thing is they've got this big dog called Bison. It's one of those Rottweilers. Beautiful dog. Love it to bits. It won't attack you, but for some reason it chews my wrist. And it's a big dog now and it's starting to hurt a bit. So they tend to put him out in the garden when I'm there. I don't know why it's always my wrist. Likes to chew my wrist like it's something to eat. Why can't we have vegetarian dogs? I mean, I'm quite happy to bring him round a lettuce or a cauliflower to eat. No! On the way back, because of course we had to, he thought he was going to get a lift back. He said, are you going to ask Gary to give us a lift back? And I said, no, I'm not. We'll walk back. It was a lovely night, Thursday. It was warm. Warm. If you're not in the UK, you don't understand what it is for us to have a warm night. It's so unusual. We get about 5 a year, warm nights. So we walked back. And where my sister lives, a place called Woodhall Spa in Lincolnshire, it's very quiet. Now, it's quiet where I live. But at night, I can just about hear the motorway in the background. There, nothing. Oh, it's so peaceful. So peaceful and nice in Woodhall Spa. Now, the house prices there they're okay if you're coming from London. But if you travel 10 minutes, just 10 minutes outside of Woodhall Spa, they're even cheaper. You can get a three-bedroomed bungalow, really nice, with a large garden for about £160,000. You will not get anything in London for that. And even where I am, say, this house I am is now worth about £249,000. So, you can see, if I wanted to move, it'd be very, very easy for me. And I'd have a load of money left over as well. And many, many times, let me tell you, this thought goes through my head more than once a week. Because all my family are up there now. All my family are up in Lincolnshire. Well, at least my sisters. And it does go through my mind to, should I do that? Problems are, number one, the house where I live now, I consider my home. It is my base. And I do almost feel it's part of me, this house. I love it all around me. The greenery along the side, I've been, over the years, been planting things along the side. All sorts of things, blackberry bushes and all that. And all this stuff is growing quite high now. So I'm surrounded by green. And it is relatively quiet in my garden. Now and again, a plane will go over. That's okay. It doesn't bother me. The houses are sort of well spaced apart. It's not like a new housing estate. I mean, they're just awful new housing estates where the houses are so close together and you've got these postage size stamped gardens where you just about get 2 chairs out on there and that's it. I've got a nice sized garden. The only thing I'd change about this house is to have a much, much bigger garden, maybe 6 or 7 times the size of the one I've got now. I'd like a great big garden. Apart from that, no. I'd be happy to lose a bedroom here, really. Could quite happily lose a bedroom and have 2 bedrooms instead of 3. I mean, remember, I am on my own, so I don't need 3 bedrooms. So I do feel very attached to this house. Also, My best friend lives up the road. Now, if I was to move, there would then be 160 miles in between me and him. All my work is in London. Virtually all of it, except the one in Coventry. Now, if I was to move, you couldn't do those jobs. The only way you could do them is to have somewhere to live down here as well, and then what's the point? There'd be no point. When would you go? Because I'm lucky enough to be working like 6 nights a week. What do you do? Work 6 nights and then go home for 1? That's just stupid, isn't it? So you'd have to make a conscious decision, right, this is when I'm going to stop work. People have said, oh, you can do your work up there. Not as easy as that. You're starting again from scratch. You wouldn't have a name up there. No one would know you. It would be very difficult. But all the family are up there. There's children that would need babysitting now and again. Children maybe later on that might need a lift to school. You know, my niece might ring up. Oh, Chris, I'm running really late. Can you take George to school today? Yeah, I'll be there like a flash. Take them to school and drop them off. How fantastic would that be? Because I haven't experienced any of this. The only child I've really looked after was Jimmy and he's 16 when we went on a holiday to Florida. I could get more involved in that sort of thing. I could still do these shows. They got internet up there. Not as fast as the internet I've got. We're on 125 meg here, 10 meg upload. I don't think they've got that up there. But no, I could probably still do them. And I do think of it. I do think. They always say, why don't you just move and come up? But it's just not as simple as that, is it? And more importantly, is there a Waitrose close by? What if I was to move and realise there's no Waitrose? Where would I do my shopping? Oh, that fills me with fear, that bit. It really does. Daniel sends in a message. He says, how are your feet? My feet are... I think they're getting better now. They're getting better slowly. Don't know if you saw the videos this week, but I did talk about that. And I bought wider trainers now. You have to look for those. You can't just go in Sports Direct and have you got any wide trainers? They think you've gone mad because they're all the same blooming size in there. I bought a pair of Gola, Gola, Gola trainers, which are wider. My feet are better. I saw the lady in the clinic this week, and she said to me that tendon problems can take 18 months to 2 years to sort out. Well, we're just coming up to 18 months now, and I think they're starting to get better. I've got a few little exercises to do, but I mustn't overdo it, apparently. Right? And my throat. So I've had another camera down the throat this week, and it wasn't as bad as last time. I've got to be honest. I think a lot of it was the doctor, because it was a different doctor, different hospital. And he, I don't know, he just calmed me a lot more. When I started panicking, he said, right, okay, and he took it out my nose. This is quite long, this thing that goes up your nose and down the back of your throat. Right, it is. He, after I was panicking, but he took it out, he said, okay, he said, you're doing all right. I've had a quick look down there. He said, I can't see anything yet. He said, but I'm going to go out the other nostril now, and let's see how you go. All right. He said, are you all right? I said, no, not really. He said, look, this isn't dangerous. No one has died from this before. Okay, so he's gone in. And then when I start panicking, he said, right, breathe deeply and slowly. So I started going with his finger up my nose. And that calmed me down. And no longer was I pulling my head back. And he was able to have a good look around there. And he came out, he said, you did really well with that one. He said, can I just go back in the other one and go a little bit further down and have a look? So he did, and once again, and I'd done it. There is nothing to see down there. He said it all looks completely normal and all that. So what they think now is... he was asking me if I had heartburn at all. And, of course, when I was a bit overweight, I did have heartburn quite a lot. Quite badly. Several times a day. It's horrible. Horrible burn in the back of your throat. So, but it's very rare that it happens now, right? I actually think I've got a wheat intolerance because I had some bread at my sister's. And then that night I started getting the heartburn again. So I think I might have some sort of wheat intolerance, you know. And pizzas. I had 2 pizzas while I was up there. 2! And I haven't had any pizzas for months. But, you know, that's one of those things. So he thinks I'm getting heartburn at night while I'm asleep. So he has prescribed, or told me to get, Gaviscon Advance. Now, this is like a heartburn type medicine stuff, right? And I'm to have this before I go to bed. Now, I do have pills every morning at 10 o'clock. And I have to be careful that nothing interacts. So you get this thing, and then you ring up the people that give you the other pills, the chemist in London, and you say, right, I've got to have this. Can I have this? And they look it up, and they say, yeah, it's all right. But I mustn't have this more than 3 hours either side of having the other thing. So that's okay, because I have those in the morning, and I'm having this just before I go to bed. And it says 5 to 10 millilitre spoon. Now, I've only got a teaspoon in the cupboard, so I'm going to go down to chemist when I finish the show today and ask for a measuring out teaspoon, if there is such a... must be something like that, like a medicine spoon or something like that. So I'm going to ask for one of those. I had some last night, and I must say I didn't feel any heartburn, but he thinks that's coming up my throat and possibly burning, or whatever it does, the gland that's there. He thinks that's what's happening now. So we're going to try that and see what happens. So that's my medicine news today. Daniel says, will you retire there? Life is not about money, it's about family. Well, yes it is. Yes it is. But it's not so much the money, Daniel. It's my work is down here. I love my work. I love to stand there and do a karaoke night and get people to have a good night. I love walking around doing the quiz or the DJing. I love doing these things. Now, to suddenly stop that and move up there lock, stock and barrel, certainly there would be things to do in the daytime, I suppose. My nieces and nephews, helping them, but they have jobs, they have families and lives. They can't be coming round my house every day, and they've got things to do. There's my sister as well, of course, but she's got her husband. Do you know what I mean? What are the pills for, Daniel wants to know. Oh, something very nasty. Something very nasty that we don't talk about, Daniel. All right, that's all you're going to get out of that one. Terry says, Chris, family is so important and you never get another chance to see the little kids growing up. Well, I know that. Because I missed the 3 of those growing up, really, didn't I? Although I go up 3 or 4 times a year. Is it enough? No, of course it's not enough. It's lovely going up to see all of them and how well they're doing. Gary, for example. Gary's the oldest one. He's 30 next year. 30 years old. My nephew is 30 next year. He's got his 2 wonderful children, Harry and Evie, and a beautiful wife, Stacey, who's got a heart of gold, Stacey. And he's doing quite well at the moment. He's started, I think I told you this in a previous programme, he's started repairing lawnmowers. So he buys them off eBay or goes to auctions and buys lawnmowers dirt cheap, like £10 sometimes. Petrol lawnmowers, not electric. He says the electric ones are not worth repairing. So he buys petrol lawnmowers, fixes them, he knows what to do, and then sells them on again for like £80 or £90. So he's got a little side business there. And he also works in a butcher's, who, I'm pleased to say, have started selling vegetarian sausages. How fantastic is that? That did please me, let me tell you. And he's doing really quite well now. He's learning how to make a little bit of extra money because the family and that. Unfortunately, they've only got a 2-bedroomed house at the moment, and they've got 2 children, 1 boy and 1 girl, and them, of course. Now, they're all very small at the moment, so that's okay. But I think he's having trouble getting the money together to try and move, because, of course, once you've got children, difficult to save anything, I suppose, for years. And at the moment, they're stuck in that 2-bedroomed place. I'm not quite sure what he's going to do about that. I have actually suggested renting to him now. You know, I said, look, how much do you pay mortgage and rent? Because they're part buying a place. So he told me, I said, well, and I looked in the thing, I said, well, you can rent that, you know, £300 a month. Because actually up in Lincolnshire, don't think you pay anywhere near the rental which you pay down here. I've got a 2-bedroomed house up in Lincolnshire, and that rents out for $450, right? A 2-bedroomed house where I am now rents out for about $850. So huge difference. So I've suggested to them that perhaps they could rent. Yeah, there's nothing wrong with renting a place. If you can't afford to buy, then that's what you have to do. But that might be what they have to do. I don't know yet, because the butcher money, unless he can get busier with his lawnmowers, and also he repairs aluminium wheels. You know those posh wheels that you get for cars? Alloy wheels, that's it, alloy wheels. He repairs those. People get chips in them. I mean, it wouldn't bother me, to be honest. If I had a few chips in the side of my car or anything like that, it doesn't bother me. People like my best friend Ronnie, oh my God, gets a chip in the side of his wheel. Oh, he's straight in the garage, 40 quid to have it taken out again. Don't bother me. Cut the scratches, a little bit of rust hanging out, maybe a wheeler not quite on properly. Or exhaust going, brrr, you know, when the exhausts break. Well, you don't get. I don't think do exhausts break on diesel cars. I don't think they do they? So yeah, you're right. Family are very important. But to give everything up that I do here, and this wonderful house that I live in, I don't know what it is about this house. I really feel attached to it. When I go on holiday, I want to come back in 2 days. Oh, I want to get back to my house. Isn't that a weird thing? It's like you're attached to it. I think there are, because I believe in spirits and all that, I think there are spirits here that pull me back all the time. I don't know. Want me to be here, and I want to be here. It might be that. Terry says, I love seeing my nephew and niece growing up. So how old are yours then? Isn't it fantastic watching them grow up? So I've got a nephew 30, another nephew 17. He'll be 18 next year. Oh, and and Jimmy, the 17-year-old, is now considering going on holiday with his friends next year. 18 years old. Oh my God. Can you just imagine it? Oh, that's what I meant to tell you. On the way, walking to my other nephew's, Gary, with Jimmy, this car comes tearing past. And I'm like, blimey, that's a bit fast, isn't it? And Jimmy says yes. And then I can hear it coming back again. Goes past. But then I hear it turn around, it's coming back again. And then it pulls over and stops. It's only Jimmy's friends. And guess what? One of the first things they said, I was so happy. They said, oh, we've seen you on YouTube. Oh, I was so happy about that. See, fans all over the place, even in Lincolnshire. And I said, hello, I'm Chris, super cool uncle. Well, Jimmy just hid his face in embarrassment and shame. Why is that? Why did my nephew have to hide his face in embarrassment and shame just because I said, hi, I'm Chris, super cool uncle? Also, walking back to my sister's house, And that would have been about 11 o'clock at night, because I like to walk around late at night in there. It's so quiet and peaceful. But we're on this side of the pavement. And on the same pavement, a black dog, is walking towards it. He said, "Oh, look, that's a big cat," Jimmy said. And all of a sudden he said, "Oh, it's not a cat, I think it's a dog." It wasn't a poodle, but it had that, like, curly black fur that these dogs have. And it kind of saw us and moved further over to the left, and I kind of moved a bit over to the right. And Jimmy's walking, but then as the dog got closer, he jumped and ran sort of behind me, which frightened the dog, who then started barking at us, which made Jimmy even more frightened. It was hilarious. This dog was only tiny. And then Jimmy starts telling me that apparently there's a black panther that keeps getting seen roaming the hills of Lincolnshire. Yeah, right, of course there is. Don't believe these stories in the paper. Terry says his nephew is 6 and niece is 2. Oh, isn't that wonderful? I bet you get up to mischief with your nephew who's 6, don't you? Do you ever get into trouble with him? Is your sister or your brother's child? Do your mum and dad, does your sister ever say, "Why do you teach them those?" My sister was always saying that to me. Why do you teach them bad things? Like, do you know what I taught one of my nephews to do? This is years ago. I taught him to stand in... I taught him to stand in the supermarket with my sister and speak very loudly, "I'll ring Childline, Mum." She didn't know where to look. And she rings up. "Why do you teach them these things?" "'Cause it's funny. 'Cause it's funny, sis. Where's your sense of humour, darling? Come on." Need a sense of humour, and his niece is 2. So the 2-year-old presumably is walking now with difficulty, is she? Oh dear. Daniel, what are you saying to me there? Come on, tell us. Is it for hair loss? No, I'm not telling you what my pills are for. Something nasty. Something nasty that I have to keep under control. That's what the pills are for. That's all you need to know, Daniel. Stop bloody asking, nosy old git. Hey? Right. Where did we get to? Number 2. No. Oh, there's no message. Not many messages today. Aren't you quiet today? Where were we? Oh, we were on to Marge's email, weren't we? There we are. By the way, you still got time to call in if you want to. You can. Only 10 minutes though. Use the Skype, all one word, Chris Reardon, CHRISREARDON. Chris Reardon is the Skype username. Or phone in 020 8133 6358. Local London number 020 8133 6358. Oh, and I would like to say a big hello to people listening in Thailand. We seem to have suddenly picked up a load of viewers in Thailand via YouTube. So hello to you. Never been to Thailand? I think that's a beautiful, very, very beautiful country. I like jungle, you see. I like lush green. Not too keen on seaside. Although I am staying in a hotel in Israel, in Tel Aviv, which is right on the beach in October. But I like jungle and greenery, you know. Back to Marge's email, who says, "I'm not much into human babies or kids, but Evie and George are beautiful. Not sure how you spell Evie's name. I think you've done it, Evies. I'm sure that's right. However, on my way to wash some windows outside a home. I don't normally do windows." Oh, neither do I. Oh, God, no. Neither do I. I don't do windows either. Sometimes I do the inside of my windows, Marge. I do one. I don't go around and do the whole house. Oh, no, that'd be far too much effort. Far too much effort. I do one window. I might do two windows. A room. Okay, I might do a room today. Move on to the next one maybe in a couple of days' time, like that. I do. But the outside of them, I've just started. A window cleaner comes around and does them. £8. And he puts up a ladder and cleans them all for me like that. So that's nice. There's actually 2 on the side of the house. I've got a lean-to on the side, so he can't get up to that one. So he comes into the house, and I don't know. I've got double glazing, and he flicks these 2 things, and then the whole window sort of turns round. I don't know how he does it, and then you can get to the other side of them. So I have him around. It's not every 6. I don't have him every 6 weeks. I have him about 4 times a year. That's all right. She says, I don't normally do windows, but I was talked into it by a nice lady, plus I get paid as well. So that's good. We like to get paid for these things. Daniel says, come on, Chris, you talk about all your ailments, you got to tell us we are your extended family. No one knows what they're for. Look, if I don't take them, I will die. Okay? That's all you need to know. Okay, I am kept alive by the use of chemical forces in this world. All right? End of. Thank you. That's all. Now, no more questions, Daniel, about my pills. Thank you, Marge. Now, where are we going now? Where's my little list? There it is. Oh, bad news with the tomato plants downstairs. We had a house storm a couple of weeks ago. I think it's done them in. They've all gone brown, speckled leaves, and the little growth bits that you had flowers on, that turns into tomatoes, ruined. I think we're going to have to chuck out the tomato plants. But the potatoes seem to be doing particularly well. Particularly well, the potato plants. I haven't dug any up yet. Some of them are flowered, and you leave them in the ground. I think I'll start digging those in probably September, which isn't far. It's not far off, is it? September, July, August, September. 3 months. But we're now into June. Outside the UK, let me tell you, it's warmed up nicely here. Although, in the sun, not in the sun, in the Daily Express. Now, I've told you time and time again, do not take any notice of weather stories on the front page of the Daily Express. Never ever take any notice of those, right? This is on today's Daily Express. Keep cool and carry on. Experts issue new summer heatwave warning. With no end in sight to the heatwave over the coming weeks, expert advised keep cool and carry on. What heatwave? There is no heat wave. It's about 75 degrees. That's not a heat wave. Look at this story. Slap on the sunscreen. Okay. Wear a hat. Yes. And avoid alcohol was the message from the government. Yeah. I mean, if you want to do the best for yourself, they are the things you should do. Now, I must admit, I never wear sunscreen. I've been told time and time to wear it, but I never do. I very rarely burn. I go very brown. I do look rather Asian Indian. When there's been a little bit of sunshine, beautiful colour. I'm very lucky. I go a golden brown. So does Ronnie, actually. His boyfriend Andy doesn't go brown, he just goes red. I think that's dangerous. I don't think it's good to go red. It says, but with England kicking off the World Cup campaign, oh God, how boring is it? Oh, they're all going to be in front of the television. Do you know, I've lost a job because of that. I've got no work tonight because they had to show the football match. How boring is that? Oh, God, I hope they... Can you just imagine if they're going to win? The mess in the streets. Cans, bottles everywhere. Awful. Football, please. So boring. So very boring. The NHS are braced for a flood of emergencies caused by a mix of sunshine and booze. Some doctor, this is in today's Daily Express, head of extreme events at Public Health England says, it's nice the sun is shining, we can all enjoy the taste of summer, but it's important to remember heat does bring health risks. Temperatures are expected to reach 74 Fahrenheit. Whoopee-doo. 74? That's nice. It's not a heat wave. How is 74 degrees a blooming heat wave? It's not, is it? It's just nice. 74 degrees Fahrenheit, for those youngsters who don't understand that, is 23 degrees centigrade. It's not a heat wave. It's nice. Another doctor says the hot weather and football are likely to cause an upsurge in heat-related health problems. Too much sun will only worsen the dehydration. Excessive heat and sun mixed with too much alcohol is a potentially deadly thing, and it goes on and tells you about the sunscreen and that. It says here temperatures yesterday peaked at 79 degrees Heathrow, falling just shy of the hottest day of the year, 80, which was on Monday in Essex. That's why Bobby and blooming Harry have got those awful swimming costumes on, I suppose. Oh dear. Awful, awful, awful. So don't ever believe those stories on the front page of the Daily Express, all right? Those weather stories there. At the moment, it's just blown. It's actually cloudy out there today. Last night we had a terrific thunderstorm here in Bracknell. Got home from my sister's about 11 o'clock at night. Came and I noticed that Ronnie had been in and washed a couple of mats for me and was hanging them out. He keeps putting the bloody mats in the washing machine, and one of them's falling apart now. Why does he keep doing that? Falling apart, dear. Like me, falling apart. I got in, and about 12:15, I noticed there was some lightning flashes outside. Really bright. Oh, I'm a bit scared of lightning, to be honest. Quite scared of lightning. So that was last night. A wonderful, mega thunderstorm. So that's in the Daily Express this morning. Now watch out for your cats, boys and girls. In the Daily Mirror this morning, police and the RSPCA are investigating reports someone is using an electric razor to shave cats while an accomplice holds them down. Watch out, cats. A fur thief who is snatching cats off the street and shaving them is being hunted. This is in the Daily Mirror. The twisted animal abuser is skulking the streets of a seaside resort looking for the moggies to make bare. It's in Southport, Merseyside. She said a tortoiseshell cat came home with lots of its fur missing. It had been removed from its neck, back legs, bottom and all the way up to her stomach. Poor cat. What do they do with that fur then? What on earth do they do with all that fur that they've shaved off cats? Well, there you go. There's an excuse. Never, ever buy fur gloves off eBay. And watch out for stuff that's made in China. A lot of that is dog and cat fur. I joke you not. I joke you not. Daniel says, is it hemorrhoids? How can you die from hemorrhoids? Don't be so stupid. No, it's not. It's not hemorrhoids. You don't die from hemorrhoids. If I don't take my pills, I will die. So that's it. Okay? That's all you're getting to know. Are they for your mind? No, they're not for my... Are they for a sex change? Why would I want to become a woman? Oh, I could get fit lads, couldn't I? I could get fit lads if I became a woman. Oh, I don't think I could have snip. Oh, no, I don't think so. Oh, no. If you're not working tonight, can we come round and watch the England game? No, you can't. There's no football on in this house. I'm telling you that now. Nothing. And I will not read out that last comment you made. It's very rude. Not for my show. Anyway, I'm going now. Thank you very much for watching the show today, boys and girls. Don't forget, do send an email in. I'd love to hear from you. My email address is chris@unitedkingdomtalk.co.uk. chris@unitedkingdomtalk.co.uk. There is daily short videos, usually anything between 3 and 8 minutes long, somewhere along that lines. You can see them every day, Monday to Friday. And we've got a lot of people watching in America. Lots of Barry Manilow fans have picked up on my short videos and they're enjoying them. It's very nice of you to be with us. You can find those every day at UnitedKingdomTalkTV.co.uk. UnitedKingdomTalkTV.co.uk. There was something else I was going to tell you. What was it? Can't remember. I think I'll just go. You have a lovely Saturday. I'll see you again soon. Thanks for watching and listening. Bye bye now.